This wedding is taking me to the poorhouse, and it's not even mine. The average wedding in the United States costs about $35,000, but they never tell you about the association costs, the cost for being associated with the bride and groom. My best friend is getting married, and I have spent a lot of money so far. And I'm going to tell you exactly how much money I spent so you can get an idea of how much it will cost you because your family and friends decided to get married. Hi, I'm SHANA of the Wealth Vibe, and I create videos to help you eliminate debt, grow your income, and build wealth. And I'm talking about something that is a major milestone in many people's lives, and that is getting married. But it's a huge financial cost, even to you, just for knowing the bride and groom. And of course, you're happy for your family or friend that's getting married, and you get so engulfed sometimes because you're just so excited that you just don't even realize how much you're actually spending on their wedding. It's really important to maintain your financial goals and keep track of your spending when it comes to your family or friends' wedding related activities, and so that you can make financially wise decisions about which activities to participate in. And let's be honest, in today's society, we have literally tons of wedding related activities, and they can rack up a bill, okay? And hopefully your friend will understand that you really want to be supportive of their wedding, but you need to maintain your financial goals. So let's give this video a thumbs up for friends who found love, but also support your goal to secure the bag, okay? Okay, now that you've given this video a thumbs up, I'm going to share with you exactly how much money I've spent on all the wedding related activities for my best friend who is getting married at the end of August. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so let me give you a little backstory on my best friend and her boo, Sean. So they had been dating for 2.5 years or so, a little less than 3 years, and he popped the question in December 2018. And so, I was super excited that she was gonna get married, and I was just waiting to hear like, okay, what do we have to do to plan this wedding? And I guess growing up with her, I always thought that she would have like an extravagant wedding, but over time she started to talk about having a smaller wedding, but she had a lot of peer pressure from her family, and they really wanted her to have a traditional wedding that obviously costs a lot of money. So I went with her, scoped out a few venues, and she ultimately decided, along with her fiance, that it wasn't financially wise for them to spend $35,000 on the wedding that they would need to have to feel comfortable with spending that large lump sum of money. So they decided that they were going to do a smaller, intimate wedding with only family. And so the ceremony is supposed to only have about 25 guests that consists of their immediate family and a little bit of extended family. So I say all that to say that because the wedding consists of only immediate family and a little bit of extended family, I am actually not going to be a guest at the wedding. And so I'm okay with that actually, because after I've tallied up how much money I have spent on her other wedding related activities, I am maxed out, okay? I am tapping out, I'm maxed out. My credit card is like tap out, tap out, tap out, okay? So let me tell you about the activities that we have done so far to celebrate their upcoming marriage. The first wedding related activity that they did to celebrate their upcoming marriage was an engagement party. The engagement party was scheduled for March 2019, and at this point they had already decided that they were going to have an intimate wedding ceremony of only family members. And so I decided, this is the opportunity for me to celebrate them. And so I'll go to the engagement party. And the engagement party was going to be in our hometown. We're from South Florida. And so they were going to have the engagement party at my best friend's home in the backyard. And so I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to get my ticket and I'm coming to the engagement party because I'm looking at this as like the wedding, right? She decided that she wanted to have her engagement party during a very busy time for South Florida. Miami. So that time is spring break, and of course the airlines are looking at us like we're rich, like we got dollar bills just flying out of every pocket, and I don't. But I could not find a reasonable flight for less than $300. And when I say reasonable flight, I mean not on Spirit Airlines, okay? So I was looking at, the major airlines like Delta, American, and Southwest even, and I couldn't find anything for less than $300. And I was literally only going for one day. I think I was flying out Friday and then coming back like early Sunday morning. And so I was only really gonna be there for one full day. And the tickets were so expensive from Atlanta to Fort Lauderdale or Miami Airport. And I had to settle on a Spirit Airlines flight. And the Spirit Airlines flight was less than $300, but I think over $250. And with Spirit, you don't get a bag. So like you can't even carry on a bag. So I found it to be super expensive. I was like really upset that I had to spend that much money, but I really wanted to participate in her engagement party because I felt like this was the only opportunity that I was going to have to celebrate them as a couple getting married. I also decided that I wanted to get her and her fiance an engagement gift. And so I did look this up to see what the customary practice was for gifts and engagement parties. And based off of my research on Google, it told me that it's really not necessary, but it's okay, it's optional if you decide to provide a gift to the bride and groom. And the idea was that there were going to be other events to go to that you could provide a gift to, like going to the wedding. But in this case, I wasn't going to be a guest at the wedding, so I figured it would make sense to get them a gift at this point. So those were all the costs that were related to the engagement party. So now let's fast forward to July 2019 when we had her bachelorette party. And so originally a few of us were thinking like she's not having a traditional wedding. It's not going to be, a big thing. And so we weren't really even in the mindset of having hosting all of the typical wedding related activities like the bridal shower, the bachelorette party, and all those things. But then one of our friends was like, you know what, let's get together and do a bachelorette party for her. So we got together 15 of her friends, well 15 including myself and her, of her friends, and we decided that we were going to do a bachelorette party. And so originally people were throwing out ideas about where we should go, and we had some extravagant ideas of going to places international, like to Japan, to Canada, to Mexico, and all over. But because we were under such a short time frame, we decided planning this around late May, I believe. And so we couldn't come up with money for Japan anyway. The way my budget is set up and the way my debt-free goals are set up, I was not flying to Japan. That just was not happening. So we all decided to do a domestic trip, and she really supported that as well because she also was going to have to put out some costs related to this bachelorette party as well. So we decided to go to New Orleans for the bachelorette party. So obviously I don't live in New Orleans, and actually none of the 15 of us lived in New Orleans. And so everyone had to pay for airfare, or I think everyone flew. Yeah, everyone flew. There was one person deciding whether to drive or not, but everyone flew. And so there were costs related to flying for me from Atlanta to New Orleans. And I was able to get a flight on Delta this time. Then we also had to look for lodging that would hold, or that would have enough space for 15 women. And also keep in mind that we would need enough bathrooms so that we could stay on top of our schedule of activities without having people, having to wait too long to use the bathroom. And then we have some people in the group that just are kind of late. They just are late with getting ready. So we wanted to make sure we had enough bathrooms. So I looked for a lot of different Airbnbs in New Orleans, and a lot of them that held or would host up to 15 people, they just only would have like 2, maybe 3 bathrooms at most. And they weren't really like, amazing bathrooms. And so we decided, well, we found this one hotel that had apartment style rooms within the hotel, and we decided to get two bedroom apartments. And so within the two bedroom apartments, they both came with 2 bathrooms, so that gave us a total of 14 or 4. What kind of math am I doing? They gave us a total of 4 bathrooms for, it ended up being 13 girls, 13 girls total by the end of all of this. So I had to obviously contribute from my portion of the hotel for the New Orleans bachelorette party. So I kind of took one of the lead roles with planning this bachelorette party, mainly because no one else was taking the lead, and secondly because I wanted to make sure that the costs were low so that they could fit within my budget. And so I had never planned a bachelorette party before, so I was kind of like not knowing what to do, but I knew that people, when they did bachelorette parties, they did activities. And so I was trying to figure out activities that we could do that would fit with everyone's budget and with mine especially. And so we planned a few different activities, and we also had planned to do different things like buy different souvenirs or gifts for the bride, and we all had to contribute money for those things. So originally we started off with a $75 per person contribution to group gifts or decorations and all those things. But then we ended up cutting out a few things, and we brought it down to $35 per person. And I will say that is very low, but it worked for us. It was very low, but it worked for us. I have friends who have planned bachelorette parties, and they typically collect from each person that's attending the bachelorette party anywhere from $125 to $200 per person. So $35 per person was like super duper cheap. And so with the $35, we bought some tumblers, we bought gifts to the bride, we bought decorations, we also bought gifts for some of the bachelorette party games that we were doing. And so the $35 I think went pretty far. In addition to the $35 contribution, we also had some activities that we had to pay tickets for. So originally we had 2 different activities that we wanted to participate in New Orleans that we had to get tickets for, and those were going to be additional costs that each person would pay for on their own. But then due to scheduling, we decided to cut one of the activities, and so we only did one activity, which was a swamp tour, and I had to purchase that ticket on my own. Over the course of 3 days, we ate at several different restaurants. We had breakfast at some small cafes, we had brunch at a really popular New Orleans restaurant, and we also had dinner at some really expensive, like $3 sign restaurants for dinner. And so I had to pay for food for all of those things, in addition to going to the grocery store and getting some like beverages and snacks for myself, and all those things were included in my food costs. While we were in New Orleans, we obviously had to get around, and so we decided, or I don't even know if we just didn't think about it that much. Nobody really brought up the idea to get a rent-a-car. We just decided, I guess, to do Uber and Lyft, and that we would just split the fares. And so we did that. We split the fares, but there was one trip or one activity, the swamp tour that we went on, that was literally, I think, a 60-mile drive from where our hotel was in New Orleans to Slidell, Louisiana. And so we all took Uber XLs up to there. And actually, when you split it up between like the 6 people that could fit in an Uber XL, it came out to like less than $10, or about $10 per person, one way to go there. But we literally did Uber and Lyft the entire trip. We did not do any rental car. I do know that the hotel would have charged us $40 per night to park at the hotel. So if we were to go with the rental car route, we would have had to have probably 2, maybe even 3 rental cars, plus pay for gas, and also pay overnight per car for 3 nights. And so that might actually have been a little bit more expensive than the route that we went, which was splitting up our Uber and Lyft rides throughout the entire 3-day weekend. As you know, with bachelorette parties and weddings, people tend to color coordinate their outfits or wear similar outfits. And of course, we followed suit and we did the exact same thing. So we had two days where we were supposed to wear color coordinated outfits. So on one day we were supposed to wear a bright color, a bright solid color. And then another day we were supposed to wear a solid nude color. And then we also had a lingerie party for the first like opening night event for the bachelorette party. And so I originally intended to buy outfits for the solid color outfit and the nude color outfit, because I don't really wear the color nude, and then I just wanted something new for the colored outfit. And so I had planned to use some of my sinking funds. I save about $50 per month to be able to purchase clothing. So I figured that I would purchase those two outfits out of that sinking fund. But when it came to the lingerie party, and don't tell anybody, I have a few pieces of lingerie, and I used to take pole classes, so I also had like stripper heels, so don't tell nobody. But I was looking all over this apartment for the lingerie and stripper heels that I had, and of course I could not find them. So then I had to spend more money to buy additional lingerie so that I can play the part in the lingerie party that I planned. So I had to go out and spend actually more money. So I had to buy a total of 3 outfits for the bachelorette party. So those were all the costs related to the bachelorette party weekend, and we had so much fun. Like, it was so much better than I even thought that it could be. And I guess it showed because we got featured on a few different like bridal Instagram pages, and I'm just so happy with how it turned out. I know my friend was really happy about it as well. But that's how much it cost me to participate in the bachelorette party. Those are the only 2 wedding related events that are happening that I'm participating in for my best friend's wedding. It cost me a little bit more than I had planned because I had no idea that she was gonna get engaged, and I had not planned for this, I had not saved for this. And so these were all kind of like surprise costs, but luckily, because I did have sinking funds set up for travel or clothing and things like that, I was able to tap into those sinking funds to be able to cover those different expenses. And one of the things that I do with my sinking funds is that I actually have these sinking funds set up within Simple Bank, and I have digital envelopes for each one of them. So I have a travel sinking fund, I have a gift sinking fund, clothing, beauty. I have them all set up within Simple Bank, and I really enjoy it. And I would highly recommend that if you want to have sinking funds set aside so that you can save for different things, even outside of just your friends or your family members' weddings, I would highly recommend that you check out Simple Bank, and I'll have the link down in the description box if you're interested in checking it out. So overall, between those 2 events, I spent over $1,000 on my best friend getting married. But you have to keep in mind that if you're going to be participating in all those events, like, there could be upward to like 7 different wedding related activities. If you're going to be participating in all of those, and especially if they're all destination trips for you, you're going to be spending probably several $1,000s, and you need to make a financially wise decision for yourself to know if you can actually afford it. And you have to sit down with your friend and just be honest, and hopefully, like I said, that they're supportive of you securing the bag and building wealth, that they will understand that you can participate in some events but not all, because they do not fit within your budget. And just have an open conversation. I think they'll understand, because they probably are financially strapped as well with all the wedding related costs. And so hopefully they'll understand a little bit that you can't participate in everything. If you have a friend or a family member that's getting married and you want to make sure that you don't bust your budget by participating in these activities, check out this video here about how to budget, and make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that I can see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.